Hello everyone, I welcome you all for this another session. In this particular session, we will be deriving the strain displacement matrix, and also we see what is called as a Jacobian matrix here for a CST element. Okay, in the previous classes, we have studied the load vectors like body force and traction force for the CST element. Now we will be seeing how to determine the strain displacement matrix, which later can be used to determine the stiffness matrix for the CST element, that is constant strain triangle. So as we all know that constant strain triangle or the CST element can be used for the 2D analysis. Okay, so as the structure is in two dimensional form, we'll be using this particular element to analyze any 2D structures. So basically this is this is always be used for a material which has a minimum thickness, okay, compared to the length and width, its minimum thickness. Because of that, this element will be very much useful there. So that particular conditions we call it as a plane stress and plane strain condition. Okay, so when you talk about plane stress and plane strain condition, we always know that these are used for only for sheet metals, such type of a material. So when I want to analyze a strain in a two dimensionals, so for example, if you studied the 1D analysis, you found out the strain only in one direction. So now what happens if an element is subjected to a biaxial loading, okay, or biaxial form of a stress, the strain will be in two directions. Okay, so basically for a planar stress, we will be writing the strain as first will be an epsilon x, okay, which is this strain in the x direction, that will be writing it as dou u by dou x. Okay, so next we will be writing the strain in the, so these are called as linear strain, so we write it as dou v by dou y. Okay, so these are called as a linear strain. So one more strain will come when we are talking about the biaxial loading. In that case, we will be getting a shear strain. Okay, we will be getting a shear strain, which will be dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou x. Okay, so these are the three types of strains we will be getting in the two dimensional analysis. In such cases, we need to determine the value of these strains, okay, the value of these strains in the form of a displacement. Okay, so we got it here, dou u by dou x, dou v by dou y, dou u by dou y, and dou v by dou x. Okay, we need to find out all these values, okay, in the matrix form, so that we can compute it the strain displacement matrix, which can be later used for the strain displacement for the stiffness matrix equation. So now in order to find this, so what I'll do is I'll simply write the shape function equation in terms of a displacement. So you know that u is the displacement along x axis, v is the displacement along y axis. So if I want to write u, so I'll be writing n1 u1 plus n2 u2 plus n3 u3. So these are the three displacements, which means that at node 1, what is the displacement along x axis, at node 2, what is the displacement along x axis, at node 3, what is the displacement along x axis. So we have written as n1 u1, n2 u2 and n3 u3. So if I substitute what are the values of shape function here, so you know that what is the value of shape function, n1 is equal to zeta, n2 is equal to neta, and n3 is equal to 1 minus zeta minus neta, which you have already derived. So if I substitute in this particular equation, what happens here is it will be u1 zeta plus u2 neta plus you will be getting plus u3 minus u3 zeta minus u3 neta. Okay, so if I take zeta as a common here, so what happens here is u1 minus u3 zeta plus u2 minus u3 neta plus u3. So this is the equation which you will be getting for a u displacement. Similarly, if you go for v, what you will be getting? Same thing you will be getting, v is equal to v1 minus v3 into zeta plus v2 minus v3 into neta plus V3. Okay, so this is a shape function equation when I try to write it in the displacement form. So one more, if I want to write it here is, I will be taking a isoparametric equation. In this isoparametric equation, I will be writing the displacement of this point, okay, with respect to the other point. So here, if I want to write it, I will be writing it as x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3, x3 y3. So if I want to write the x in the form of x1, x2 and x3, I can write it in the form of a shape function equation. So that is n1 x1 plus n2 x2 plus n3 x3. So same thing, what happens if I substitute the shape function here and write it? So what I'll be getting? I'll be getting x1 minus x3 into zeta plus x2 minus x3 into neta plus x3. Okay, like this I'll be getting the value. So if you observe that, so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you observe the displacement u and displacement v is always the function of zeta and neta. So if you see here, whenever a displacement u has to happen, there should be a displacement along the x-axis. There should be displacement along the x-axis. If you see this equation here, x is a function of zeta and neta. Okay, if x is a function of zeta and neta, u is also the function of, if you observe here also, u is a function of zeta and neta. So what happens here is, u, when I want to find out u is a function of x, zeta comma neta. Okay, v is the function of y, zeta comma neta. So whenever I want to write the equation of a strain, okay, equation of the strain is a combination of these x-axis or y-axis. It is a combination of zeta and neta. So what will be the equation? I'll just show you. So if I want to write equation dou u by dou zeta. So now here if it is dou u by dou x, if I want to write it in the form of natural coordinate system, I'll write it as dou u by dou zeta. You already know that u is a function of, what happens, you have already rubbed it, u is a function of zeta and as well as neta. So what we'll be doing here is, we'll be writing it as dou u by dou x into dou x by dou zeta. Okay, u is a function of x as well as zeta. So I have written it as dou u by dou x into dou x by dou zeta, plus it is also the function of neta. So what I'll write? I'll be writing dou u by dou y, dou u by dou y into dou y by dou neta. Dou u by dou y into dou y by dou neta. Okay, so is it right? Sorry, it is dou u by dou y into dou y by dou zeta. Okay, so these are the two parameters. U is also the function of x as well as y, because zeta and neta is coming. So similarly, if I take dou u by dou neta, so what I'll write? Dou u by dou x into dou x by dou neta plus dou u by dou y plus dou y by dou neta. So this is the splitting which we will be doing it here. So through this we will be trying to find out the values of this. So if you see here, you have dou u by dou x here, here also you have dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y, dou u by dou y is there. So we will be trying to compile them. Okay, so how to compile, I'll just show you. So what I'll do is, now I'll take a matrix form of this. So dou u by dou zeta if I take it, and dou u by dou neta I take it. So I'll take it in the form of a matrix. So what happens here is, if I want to do a matrix here, so what I'll do is, I'll take dou u by dou x and dou u by dou y as a outside parameter. So what remains here is, u remains is as dou x by dou zeta, okay, and dou y by dou zeta and dou x by dou neta and dou y by dou neta. So if you do it, so the equation whatever you are getting here is, you will be getting dou u by dou x and dou u by dou y, dou u by dou x and dou u by dou y. Okay, so now what I require is, I require dou u by dou x. So here you have this dou u by dou x. For that case, we will be shifting on this other side. So now whatever the parameter you have got it here, okay, so this is called as Jacobian matrix. This is called as Jacobian matrix. This is a matrix which will give the relationship between a natural coordinate system as well as the global coordinate system. Okay, so this I'll be writing it as dou u by dou zeta into dou u by dou neta is equal to, I'll take it as a j into dou u by dou x upon dou u by dou y. Okay, so now I want the value of dou u by dou x here. I want the value of dou u by dou x. So what I'll do is, I'll take dou u by dou x on one side, dou u by dou x, and dou u by dou y I'll take it one side. So what happens if this goes this side, because this is the matrix equation, if it goes on the other side it becomes a inverse. Okay, so it becomes what? It becomes a j inverse. It becomes j inverse of dou u by dou zeta and dou u by dou neta. Okay, this is the equation. Okay, so on this basis we will be trying to first find out what is j inverse. So you know that how to find out the value of j inverse. J inverse is nothing but adjoint j upon determinant j. Okay, any a inverse if you want to take it, so what I'll do, I'll just rub it here. If I want to take a inverse, so a inverse will be adjoint a upon determinant a. Okay, adjoint a upon determinant a. So similarly on this background, j inverse will be adjoint j divided by determinant j, adjoint j upon determinant j. So in order to find out the value of adjoint j, first we need to find out the cofactor of this. Later on this cofactor we need to get the adjoint of this. So what you are getting here is, so we have got j as dou x by dou zeta, dou y by dou zeta, dou x by dou neta and dou y by dou neta. So what we'll do is, we'll try to find out them in the coordinate values, that is in the form of x1, x2 and x3 and y1, y2 and y3. So for that case we'll be using this j matrix. So first we'll be writing the isoparametric equation here, isoparametric equation. Okay, isoparametric equation. Okay, so we know that from this already we have derived x is nothing but n1 x1 plus n2 x2 plus n3 x3. Okay, so this is the value. So if you just substitute the value of shape function, what you used to get, x is equal to, okay, so you will be getting x1 minus x3 zeta plus x2 minus x3 neta plus x3. You used to get this value. Okay, so this is the x value. So what is the parameter here you have? You have first what you have to do is, you have to find out what is j, then you have to go for adjoint j, then you have to write the determinant j. So we need dou x by dou zeta. So dou x by dou zeta, if I want to do it, what I will be getting? x1 minus x3. So I will be getting x1 minus x3. So what I will do is, in order to make it a simple way, so x1 minus x3 I will write it as x13. x13. So which means that if I take xij, it will be xi minus xj. So for simplification, you need not write the whole thing here. So dou x by dou zeta is x13. So similarly, what you require, dou x by dou neta, dou x by dou neta. So if I do it here, what I'll be getting? I'll be getting x2 minus x3, which is x23. Okay, x23. So you got two parameters here now. Okay, so next what you have to do is you have to get the other two parameters, which is dou y by dou zeta and dou y by dou neta. So what I'll do is I'll just take that. So similarly, I'll take what is y. Y is nothing but n1 y1 plus n2 y2 plus n3 y3. Okay, n1 y1 plus n2 y2 plus n3 y3. So what happens here is, so you know that after substituting the shape functions, so you'll be getting y1 minus y3 into n1 into zeta plus y2 minus y3 into neta plus y3. Okay, so from the Jacobian matrix, what we require is the value of dou y by dou zeta. Okay, dou y by dou zeta we require. So when you do the dou y by dou zeta, you will be getting y1 minus y3, okay, which is equal to y13. So similarly, if you do dou y by dou neta, so you will be getting y2 minus y3, which is y23. So what happens for the Jacobian matrix? So what is the Jacobian matrix here is, J is basically given as dou x by dou zeta, dou x by dou neta, dou y by dou zeta and dou y by dou neta. So this is a Jacobian matrix. So what I am doing is I am just substituting the values of dou x by dou zeta and all. So what you will be getting? You will be getting x13, x23, okay, x13, x23, y13 and y23. Okay, so this is the Jacobian matrix for the CST element. Okay, so now I have to find out the inverse of this. So inverse of this is nothing but adjoint upon determinant. So I will be finding out the adjoint for this. Okay, I will be finding the values of adjoint. So first we will be finding out the cofactor for this, cofactor for J. Okay, so just a second. So whenever we are trying to find out the cofactor, you already know that. So you have to just take the interchanging. If it is a 2 by 2 matrix, you have to change the diagonally matrix and change the sign of that. So the these remains as it is, only the interchange happens. These will be having the negative sign. You already know the cofactor for this. So what happens here is, this is y23. Okay, y23 you'll be getting minus x23, okay, and then minus y13 and x13. This is the cofactor J. Okay, so if I want to do the adjoint J, this will be having x23, y23 minus y13 minus x23 into x13. So this will be the adjoint of this. So what will be the inverse? So you already know how to find out the adjoint of the any matrix. So it's need not to be explained here. So J inverse will be adjoint J upon determinant J. So what happens here is 1 by determinant J. I'll keep it as it is. So what will be getting the adjoint here? So y23 minus y13 minus x23 into x13. Okay, x1 3. So now you have got the equation in terms of the determinant value. So what you got here is this is a J matrix. So initially the equation which we had, that is, I'll show it what we had. So we required dou u by dou x and dou u by dou y. We got the matrix as J, okay, and we had dou u by dou zeta and to dou u by dou neta. So this was the equation which we have to determine in order to find out the values of dou u by dou x. If I want to find out the value of dou u by dou x, this was the equation. So we have found out that this is J inverse. Okay, this is J inverse. So we have found out the value of J inverse. So what we need to find out is, we need to find out these two equations, these two values, that is dou u by dou zeta and dou u by dou neta. So once again what we do is, we'll take that initial equation, which is we already know that u is equal to n1 u1 plus n2 u2 plus n3 u3. This is the equation which we have initially taken. This is the equation between the field variable and the nodal displacements. So you can take q1 q2 or u1 u2 here. Okay, so here what happens here is, you already know that you have simplified it. You will get u1 minus u3 into zeta plus u2 minus u3 into neta plus u3. This was the equation which we have got. Okay, so now what I have to do is, I have to do dou u by dou zeta. So what you will get? So dou u by dou zeta is nothing but only u1 minus u3. u1 minus u3. So what is dou u by dou neta? It is u2 minus u3. Okay, now you have got the equations. Okay, so or if you are getting confused, you can take it as q1 q2 also. So you can just change it to q1 q2 and q3, and you can write it here q1 minus q3, q2 minus q3, and this will be q3. So this what you will get, sorry, just a mistake I have done it. What mistake I have done is, if I want to write it in a nodal displacement, so what are the x parameters here? If I want to take it in q1, this is q1, next will be q3, n2 q3 it should be, n2 q3 it should be, next it should be n3 q5, because x parameters are these values. Okay, so then if I want to get the values of dou u by dou zeta, so what happens here is, so first only I solve it u parameters. So this will be q1 minus q5 into zeta plus q3 minus q5 into eta plus q5. Okay, this is fine. This is fine here. So next, if I want to take dou u by dou zeta, so what you will be getting? You will be getting q1 minus q5, and dou u by dou neta you will be getting q3 minus q5. q3 minus q5. So next what we are doing is, we are just substituting in this particular equation. So if I substitute this, what I will get? So you know that we have to find out dou u by dou x and dou u by dou y. If I just consider this, one is J inverse I have to take. J inverse is nothing but 1 upon determinant j into y23 minus y13 x minus x23 into x13. Okay, this is the matrix. Then you have to multiply dou u by dou zeta and dou u by dou neta. So which is nothing but q1 minus q5 and q3 minus q5. q1 minus q5 and q3 minus q5. Okay. So next, from this we need to find out the epsilon x. What is epsilon x? Epsilon x is nothing but dou u by dou x. Dou u by dou x. So you have to take only the outer parameters, that is y23 into q1 minus q5, like that you have to take. So you will be getting 1 minus determinant j. Okay, so y23 I will be multiplying with q1 q5, so that will be y23 into q1 minus q5. Okay, so plus plus, or y already minus is there, so minus y13 q3 minus q5, q3 minus q5. Okay. So what happens here is I'll be getting 1 upon determinant j, I'll be getting it as y23 q1 Okay, now we are just multiplying the bracket terms here. So we'll be getting q23 into y23 into q1 minus y23 into q5. Okay, so minus y13 into q3. Okay, and then plus y13 into q5. So if you see this here, this is y13. I want to take all the terms in the what we call it as in a positive term. So for that case, what I'll do is y13 is nothing but y1 minus y3. Okay, y13 is nothing but y1 minus y3. So if I make it minus y13 is there. So if I want to make it positive, so what I'll do is y31 I'll do it. See here, if I, for example, it is minus y13 is nothing but minus of y1 minus y3. Okay, if you multiply that y1 minus y3, so what you will be getting? You will be getting y3 minus y1. So it is nothing but y31. Okay, y31 I'll do it. So similarly, there is a term, we'll solve that also. So I just write that step. So what is that step? It is equal to 1 upon determinant j into, okay, so y23 q1. Next is y31 plus y31 q3. Okay, and one more parameter is there, plus q5 is there outside. Okay, I'll take the common terms here. So that is y13 minus y23, y13 minus y23. So if I solve this parameter, so what I'll get, if I just see here, y13 minus y23, if I do it, it is nothing but y1 minus y3 minus of y2 minus y3. So what you will get? You will be getting, so this becomes minus, this becomes plus, this 3 gets cancelled, you end up with y12. Okay, so if you solve this, you will be getting y12. So what will be epsilon x? Epsilon x is nothing but 1 upon determinant j, okay, into y23 q1 plus y31 q3 plus y12 q5, y12 q5. So this is epsilon x in this parameter, because you have 6 degrees of freedom for this, q1 q2 q3 q4 q5 q6. Epsilon x is relative to the x displacements, that is q1 q3 q5. So these are the parameters you need to consider it. Okay, so this is epsilon x. Similarly, you have to do it for epsilon y. So epsilon y, when you want to write for the epsilon y is nothing but dou v by dou y. Okay, it is dou v by dou y. So similarly, if you want to write it for epsilon y, so what you will do is, you will be writing it as same thing, dou v by dou x, dou v by dou y. Okay, so it will be writing dou v by dou x, dou v by dou y. So what you will get up here, same thing you will be getting, you will be ending up 1 upon determinant j into y23 minus y13 minus x23 into x13, but here we have taken q1 q5. Okay, here you have taken q1 q5. When you solve it, you got it q1 q5. Here you will be getting q2 minus q6 and minus q6. Okay, we have written now for dou v by dou x and dou v by dou y. The same procedure has to be applied, as it will be lengthy. I have just written it short. That is y23 minus y13 minus x23 x13. This will be along the y-axis, which will be displacement q2 q6 and as well as q4 q6. Okay, so now we need to just take what we require is as epsilon y. Okay, epsilon y is nothing but dou v by dou y. We are not bothering about dou v by dou x, it is a dou v by dou y. So we will be taking the down terms. So it will be dou v by, once again, epsilon y is nothing but dou v by dou y. It is nothing but 1 upon, okay, determinant j into minus x23, and just take it as a bracket, into q2 minus q6, q2 minus q6 plus x13 into q4 minus q6, q4 minus q6. So this is the equation. We need to solve this. Okay, so when you solve this, we will be getting the equation of that. So the solution is similar, minus x23 into q2 minus x23 into plus x23 into q6. So similarly we need to solve it. So when you solve this, we will be getting this particular equation. So however I have solved, you just solve that same way. Okay, so what will be end up doing here is, so epsilon y is nothing but 1 upon determinant j into q2 x23 or x32 okay, plus q4 x13 plus q6 x21. Okay, so this is the equation for epsilon y here. So you have got epsilon x, epsilon y. So finally you have to calculate for gamma xy. So gamma xy is nothing but dou u by, so for example gamma xy, if I want to find out, it is nothing but dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou x. So it is dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou x. The same thing, whatever the equation you have got for dou u by dou y here, you have to multiply that plus dou v by dou x, you have to multiply this. So you have to do that. So you will be getting here like this. When you multiply by first is dou u by dou y, what you will be getting? 1 upon j, you will be getting here minus x23 into y1 minus y5 q1 minus q5 plus x13 q3 minus q5. This is dou u by dou y from that particular equation. So when you see this equation, you have to find out dou v by dou x. Okay, so plus dou v by dou x is the topmost part, that is y23 into q2 minus q6 plus, so as it is minus here, y13, you will be getting q4 minus q6. So okay, so if you solve this, the equations, some cancel out will happen. You will end up with this equation, 1 upon determinant j, it is x32 q1 plus x23 q2, okay, plus x13 q3 plus x31 Q4 plus X21 Q5 plus Y, sorry, it is Y23, X23, Y23, X13, Y31, X21, Y12, Q6. Okay, so one parameter is X, one parameter is Y, X, Y and X, Y. Okay, so now we'll be writing everything in the matrix form. So we'll just do that. We got epsilon X, epsilon Y. Okay, in the matrix form you have to write it. So we have got this epsilon Y, we have got, we'll just write what is epsilon X here, so that we can write it in matrix form. So it is 1 upon determinant J into Y23 Q1, okay, plus Y31 Q3 plus Y12 Q5. So this was the equation. This is epsilon X, epsilon Y, and this is gamma XY. So if I want to write it in a matrix form, so I will be writing in a matrix form, that is, I want epsilon X, epsilon Y and gamma XY. Okay, this is the equation, this is the matrix which I require. So when I want that, so I will be writing in a matrix form that 1 upon determinant J will common as it is. So how many displacements we have? We have 6 displacements, 6 nodal displacements. So I'll just write it those 6 nodal displacements here. We got Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5 and Q6. So we have got 6 nodal displacements. So the matrix will be of 6 rows you have. The displacements, the strains are in 3 forms. So what I will do is, so just fill out the column there. So first is Q1. So what you will be getting? Y23. Okay. So Q2 is not there. You will be writing it as 0. Next, what you got? Q3. That is Y31. So you will be writing that. Then Q4 is not there. You will be writing it as 0. Next, what you got? Q5. That is Y12. Y12, then Q6 is not there, you will be writing it as 0. So epsilon Y first is 0, okay, because Q1 is not there. Next you will be writing X2, X32. Next Q2 is Q4 is there, Q3 is not there, I will be writing it as 0. Then I will be writing it as X13, okay, Q5 is not there, so I will be writing it as X21. Okay, so then if you want to write the gamma XY, so it will be X32, Y23, then X13, Y31, then X21, then Y12. Okay, so this is the matrix form. So if you see this strain matrix, basically when from the 1D element you found out that E epsilon is equal to B into Q. Epsilon is equal to B into Q. So from this comparison you can see that this will be the strain displacement matrix. Okay, so the B vector is nothing but 1 upon mod sorry, determinant J. So you will be getting Y23 0, Y31 0, Y12 0. You will be getting 0, X32 0, X13 0, X21. So similarly you will be getting X32, Y23, X13, Y31, X21 and Y12. So this will be the strain displacement matrix for the CST element. So this is a bit big derivation, but you need to understand how the process is being done. We have taken the relationship. We believe that there is a relationship between zeta and eta with respect to the u parameters. So we split up the displacement in x and y direction. So dou u by dou zeta is splitted in terms of two parameters x and y, as well as dou u by dou neta is split up in x and y. So then we go on solving it. The problem was to find out the J inverse. So we got the value of J inverse here. So that is a Jacobian matrix which you need to remember, and which you need to get the values correctly there. So after that the Jacobian matrix calculated, and then just cross multiplication, you got the values of epsilon x, epsilon y and gamma xy. Okay, so this is the important derivation you need to practice.